After demolishing Miami in the final preseason game, it is time to go ahead and advance to the following week, which is the bye week portion of the preseason, where we have to make our roster cut downs and final transactions. And often this can be the toughest time. This is often the toughest time for me because a lot of the guys that are on my roster are people that I like to keep. And of course, you can't keep everybody. So right now, we have approximately 15 players that we have to either cut or trade or just move to our practice squad, which is essentially just cutting that player. So obviously Strago is going to be one of the players that we cut or move to the practice squad. Actually, I'm going to attempt to move him to the practice squad if he is eligible to go to the practice squad. So let's go take a peek and see if he is indeed eligible to go to the practice squad. Why did I say, oh, well, Cody Schrader. Cody Schrader, you're off to the practice squad. Okay. Let's see, LaQuint Allen. I could see LaQuint Allen being one of those guys that I eventually end up trading. He has 89 speed, 92 acceleration, and he is a rookie. I did intend on keeping LaQuint Allen, but you could see with Donovan Edwards and Damian Martinez that they're right up there with him as well. And I signed them to be key components of this team. So that's going to leave LaQuint Allen to be the odd man out. Ironic, every running back in my running back backfield is a rookie. Everyone from Bashal Tootin all the way down. So Mutt, we didn't need him, so we went ahead and we cut him. So let's see, Robert Hainsey, Jonah Manning, that's how you say it. Go ahead and move him to the practice squad. We don't necessarily want to cut him because he is a rookie, but we'll move him to the practice squad. So let's see. Falele's not going nowhere. Green's not going nowhere. Chumi Doga, we may revisit this. The former Cowboy turned Jaguar, we may end up shipping him out of town, especially when we have the younger guys on roster that we plan on building and developing. Elijah Chapman isn't going anywhere. Y'all already know the deal with him. He is a defensive tackle at left edge, but we moved him to left edge so we can build him up to become a really good defensive tackle. We got to get his numbers and statistics up. So Fayoko, we picked him up because we wanted him to be a key cog, but we could end up either shipping him out or moving him to the practice squad. BJ Green, too, he can be eligible to be cut. Matter of fact, I think we're going to go ahead and either cut or move him to the practice squad. Yeah, practice squad it is. So when I say cut or move them to the practice squad, it just depends on if they're eligible for practice squad. If not, then they got to go. So Strago, yeah, you're going to the practice squad. You're out of here. Let's see. We got Hines, Allen, Williams, Barno. Of course, neither one of them are going. Devon Hamilton, Mason Smith. Definitely not getting rid of Huntington. I can involve those two in a trade. I could package those guys in a trade. We'll see how that works. But the only problem is Hamilton has this massive 18 million cap hit, and I'm not necessarily sure about this. So let's see his contract. He's only on the contract for 2 years, so I feel like we can eat that hit. It wouldn't bother us too much. Let's see. Mason Smith, he only has a 1.98 million cap hit. We'll revisit that. We'll come back and take a peek at that. We might try to send that out in a package with a user or so on and so forth. Dennis Gardeck, even though he's 31 years old, he does have decent speed and acceleration. But the only problem is how much longer will that last? That's another one we'll have to revisit. Ventrell Miller, 83 speed, 87 acceleration. We're going to end up getting him up out of here. Because at linebacker, I need my linebackers to at the least be at 86, 87 speed, and he hasn't got it. The only person I'm making an exception to on that is Jack Kaiser, and that's because he has a hidden dev trait, and I liked him in real life when he was at Notre Dame. So I feel like we could build that up. We could do something with that. But he's going to be stashed at the bottom of the depth chart. So we'll check that out later. So we're not moving any of these guys. We're not moving Lloyd, Bernie, or Asante. So those guys will be key in going forward. Even though Lloyd Lloyd will be eventually be one to get up out of here. That's a guy. If Overshown gets healthy in time, I would like to move him out of there for DeMarvion Overshown. If Overshown comes off that injury list before the trade deadline, if it's after the trade deadline, then we might got a problem. Then that might have to be something where in the offseason I franchise tag him and then try to trade him for Overshown, but we shall see. So Brown, I may piece him up with somebody else and get him up out of here. Christian Braswell probably will be the guy. Yeah, because Brown's speed is only at 87. I can't do a quarterback with 87 speed. I could move him to a safety, but we're not looking at that right now. So Brown and Braswell, we'll try to package them and send them out. We'll see. Since the Bears is at the top of this list, we'll check them out first and see if they have a good pick or so or something to give us in return for those guys. We'll take a pick. That'll be just fine. Let's see. Eric Murray. 86 speed, 90 acceleration. That's decent. Like I said, for a safety, that's not bad. For a cornerback, I don't like that. So Raywan Lane, he's 87 speed. Again, another one who has okay speed for a safety. Nothing too major. Antonio Johnson. Let's see. I don't know. I kind of like Murray on a slick. That's a tough decision. He's hot. Let's see. 86 speed, 90 acceleration, 72 zone coverage, 3.66 million cap hit. Raywan Lane has 790,000 cap hit, so that wouldn't really bother us, like say so. He has 85 acceleration. I do not like that at all. I do not. If you're gonna have low speed, I need you to have better acceleration than that. So we'll go ahead and add him to the trade as well as Brown and Braswell. And we'll see what we can get from Chicago for these gentlemen right here. So let's try to see if we can get a second first. And of course, not even budging. You got to start. You kind of got to start a little high. So let's see. Let's try a fifth. See if they take that. Okay. So obviously they won't take a fifth. Maybe I could package a couple picks. Like let's say do like a fourth and then do a. Okay, there we go. That'll do. That'll suffice. So we packaged the fifth and the seventh pick, and they went ahead and took that. So we're good there. We're in the clear there. So we've acquired 2 picks already. We have to keep that in mind because we do have the 3-player acquisition limit and the 3 draft pick acquisition limit. So far we've acquired 2 draft picks. Let's see. Take a peek. Let's go take a peek at our roster real quick and do Trade Finder. Well, let's go take a peek at Trade Finder and see real quick salaries. So cap space, we have 10.6 million in cap space. Let's see, cap penalty, we have 90.2 million in cap penalties. Jesus. And we also have 15.9 million in rollover cap space from 2024. Our total cap for 2025 is 279 million, and our current total salaries for 2025 is 194 million. So we kind of got to be careful with some of these moves we making. We don't want to cap strap us or cap strap ourselves, put us in a bad position going into 2026. So we got a couple more moves that we need to make, a couple more players we got to shift up out of here to get Coach Sanders in the right spot. We got 6 more players we got to cut. So we're going to go ahead and make a couple more trades and see where we're at. We'll probably try to make some user trades here because we have kind of used up. I haven't even really been paying attention. I'm gonna have to go back and check out my transactions, but we have kind of used up our CPU trades. We did get LaQuint Allen out of there. I think we got him out for a pick. Did we? No, I haven't shipped LaQuint Allen yet. I talked about shipping LaQuint Allen out of there. So we did acquire 2 draft picks. So I think we still got 1 draft pick we can acquire. So we'll see. We'll see. But right now, we're going to try to focus on some user trades right here. So, of course, we're not going to be shipping out Elijah Chapman, Kyron Johnson, maybe Fehoko. Let's see. What's the ratings on Chapman? Speed 82. That's not bad. That's decent speed for a defensive tackle. I could roll with that. Fehoko, I think his speed is an 81 at D tackle. And again, I keep saying D tackle because these guys are actually D tackles that I moved to defensive end so I could develop them. So Mason Smith, Von Hamilton, Fehoko. We'll see if we could package them in a deal with a user and see if we can get that user to commit to the trade or make some modifications to the trade. So we'll take a deeper look. Let's see. Hamilton, Smith. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's see who we can get. Let's go with the Colts. Let's see. Yeah, because you know what? Don't they have that young D tackle that's super fast? We definitely don't want Gallimore. Eric Johnson II. No. I think it's I don't know how you pronounce that name. So, but they do have some solid defensive tackles already. So I don't know if they'll take this or not. But let's see. I'm sending them a solid defensive tackle and a good young defensive tackle. And I'm throwing in an edge, technically air quotes, throwing in an edge with Viliami Fehoko. I may end up coming back later and taking him out on that deal. But we'll see if we can get some draft picks as well, since we are sending. I'm just asking for a 5th and 6th, maybe a 7th. We'll see. We'll see if it takes it. Let's see what the computer says it would do with this trade. Oh, the computer says it would take it in a heartbeat. All right, so we got 1 user trade offer down. Let's take a peek at another trade offer. We want to try to pitch another trade because we want to try to eliminate some of these cuts that we have to make with our roster by sending these players in trades to other teams. So that way the cap hit isn't as strong for us. If we cut them, we're going to really have to eat that cap hit. But if we trade them, we only got to take a partial hit of that cap penalty. So LaQuint Allen, we'll go ahead and try to trade him away to a CPU team. We're not necessarily worried about sending him to a user. We're going to just try to trade him to a CPU team. Or let me, now that I think about it, I could send him to the Bills. Or I could send him elsewhere. Let's see. Let's weigh our options right quick, really fast. Let's see. Dolphins, Eagles, they got 26.2 million cap space. Definitely not going to trade them to the Giants because the Giants will not go for that. Could trade them to the 49ers. Let's see. Decisions. Rams, no. Raiders, they got Ashton Genty. Ravens, Saints are a user. Steelers could use them. Texans, Titans, Vikings, Bears. We may end up just sending them to the Bears. The Bears might be our trade partner again. We've been making a lot of trades with the Bears here recently. Let's see if they'll take this. No, they won't take him for a 3rd. Let's try to go with a 4th and see if they take that. They took it. So they took a 4th. Cool. So we got ourselves a 4th round pick for LaQuint Allen. Didn't want to have to give him up, but hey, it is what it is. Business is business. It's just business here. It's just business. So, Bashal Tootin. Oh, of course we're not trading Bashal Tootin. We're taking a peek at some other players. So that puts us at about 5 players that we have to cut. And we do have 3 that's getting ready to be acquired in a trade by the Colts. If they accept the trade, we got 3 that's getting ready to be acquired. So that would put us at 2, but then we're getting a player in return there. So that would bring us back up to 3. So we'd have 3 that we need to cut. So revisiting this Chuma Edoga, we're probably going to go ahead and ship him out of here. So let's see if we can package him in a trade with somebody else. So right now we're sitting at 3 players that we need to cut. If you've been following me on my math and these moves we've been making. So we're putting Chuma Edoga. We're putting Chuma Edoga out there in a trade package. Now we just got to find somebody else to package with him. And if we can get that trade to go through, that would position us to need only 1 player cut. So let's see. See the Bills. Could we send them to the Bills? The Bills might need the help. All right, they got a couple decent offensive linemen, but nothing too crazy. I don't want to send him nowhere where they already got O-line help. I want to send him somewhere where he can actually help somebody. And I feel like not only them getting a decent offensive lineman, decent backup at least, backup piece, but sending Gardeck as well. I feel like they could use both Edoga and Gardeck. Let's see though. Let's see. I'm not asking for much. Give me a 7th round. Let's see. That'll be fine. I'm not trying to rob. I'm really just trying to dump these players off because I don't want to cut them and it be a bad hit on the team. So it says they'll take it. The computer would take it. We'll see if the user himself will take it. So we're going to wait a second and see if we get these trades to go through, and then I'll come back. We'll check back on that later. So we're back at it, and it says both trades were actually approved. After waiting about an hour or so for these guys to come in and approve the trades, they approved the trade. So the Bills approved the trade with Chuma Edoga, Dennis Gardeck for the 7th round pick. And we did go back and take back Viliami Fehoko in the trade with the Colts. So they actually ended up accepting the trade as for what it was, with the 2 players, Hamilton, Mason Smith for Adibare. That's what I'm going to call him. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that name, but Adibare, and those draft picks. So now we're down to 1 player, 1 final player that needs to be cut. So I got to take a look at the roster and see who it is that we may end up cutting. We're not cutting none of these guys. No quarterbacks, no running backs, none of these wide receivers. They're not going anywhere. Let's see where else we got to go from here. So Strange, no. Cleveland, no. No. None of these guys. Definitely none at the edge position. Actually have a total of 4 edges. Those other 2 guys are actual defensive tackles. Not getting rid of none of these guys. I completely forgot that we acquired Aiden Huntington from the Browns. That's somebody else we're going to have to focus on developing as well. But nonetheless, neither of these guys will be cut either. Adibare. See, Chapman, no. Hines Allen is definitely not going anywhere. Let's see. I ain't gonna lie, I'm on the verge of Chapman. I'm not sure because I do have an overload of defensive tackles that I'm trying to develop between Adibare, Huntington, Chapman, and a few others that I have chilling at the edge. So we got to see. I don't want to cut Jack Kaiser. We'll come back. If we have to cut one of those guys, it may end up being Chapman, but I don't know. Oh, here we go right here. Wingard. We can cut Wingard. He's not nothing that special, and we got the extra strong safeties to make up for it. I can move one of these guys over to free safety. So there we go, because Wingard doesn't have this job anyways. I already said when Ransall comes back from his injury, that's his spot anyways. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and cut Wingard, Jesus, and we'll move a strong safety to free safety. So we'll move like a Eric Murray to free safety, but that's going to do it for now. We're going to give it a break. We've made all our final cuts, all our final transactions. Next episode, we'll be jumping straight into regular season action once the league advances. So as always, if you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more of this Jaguars rebuild, as well as other Madden 26 content coming soon. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time. Peace.